Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all. Welcome back to iSelf Academy YouTube channel. We are in our Excel VBA training. In our previous video, we saw how to select a singular cell and then highlight the cell by using a query here. In our current video, we are about to color them in a cross-tab reader type manner. So when I choose a cell, it's going to color the entire column and then entire row where the cell is actually chosen. Again, here I have one slight disadvantage I feel, because if I use a conditional formatting here, I can play around with more colors and more dimension can be added. At the moment, I'm only playing around with the full color option. I'm neither touching the font or the number formatting and other components like I use in a conditional formatting. But this data allows you to color the ranges that you are doing it, or that you are about to select right now. The coding part, as I told you earlier, I'm not going to just show you how I'm writing it, but I'll explain you. What I've added newly here is from the previous code. So when I go back to my sheet 1 code, the sheet 1 code talks about already selecting a particular cell and then adding it. In the sheet 2 code, I have just added the end with function, with an end with functionality here. And in here, I chose both the column and the row with two variant colors here. If you wish to color only the column, or if you wish to color only the row, then you may choose whatever you want, or you can write that particular code alone. At the moment, let me run this code once to show you the entire, what's going to happen when I do deal with this bigger coding. If it is a specific requirement that I have, I'm interested in selecting the column, not the row. If I'm selecting only the row, not the column, then I can just stop one of the coding here. I can either delete it, or I can just say don't consider that as a coding here. So let's see how I'm going to do that. So I'm going to close this code window and I'm going to place the cursor here. You can see that it's automatically coloring the entire dimension for me. Now I'm interested only in the row, not in the column. I go back to my code window from here by using Alt F11 to the code window. Again, now whenever I type something, the cursor point is not really giving me the font color changes yet, because I'm not using a conditional formatting here. I'm going to go for Alt F11 and then I'll select, I want the row to come into play. Then I add a single apostrophe in front of the column here. And then the entire code will become green for me. So now I can choose only the entire row for my usage. When I click this, now when I click it, you can see the rows or row is getting added in my list here. If you want a column, then I just come back to my coding again, Alt F11. Instead of having the apostrophe in front of my column code, I'm adding it in front of my row code here. And when I close this bracket, and then you can see that now when I choose the columns, you can see the column selections happening on well. Probably I could have used the better colors here, but I use the red and blue, which is much more a better combination when we are working with data set. If you want both of them to come back again, so I'm going to use this line. Let me just go back to our cyan again. And if you want to know more about it, you can pause the video for a second and see these code components that we have here. Generally, you'll get RGB and CYMK. And actually, RGB and CYMK will totally give you 7 colors, but we also have VBA white. Wherever if the data is fully colored, then I can select a VBA white to stop the data set. If you want to go for the valuation here, you are good to go with this. In our next video, I'm going to choose the current region here. Again, the similarity of the data set is going to still remain same, but this time around I'm going to choose the data a little differently. The coding is going to be a little larger than normal. Probably I preferably use the coding that I'm at the moment having in our list. Is the best coding for both columns and rows here. Don't write the one which I'm about to write now. I'm going to write another coding right now on the region list. Let me show you how I'm going to work. I'm going to use a singular color, not multiple colors here. So when I come back to our sheet right now you can see that it's going to add the colors in 2 dimension. It was a little better than the one which I used earlier, because I used a blue which is very dark. I couldn't be able to see my contextual data set. Now I can see it, but the colors are not mingling well. I'm not a good color. I don't have a good color combination person. So if you ask me colors, I'm the very bad person to talk about colors here. This is Vinod signing out from iSelf Academy YouTube channel on VBA video number 4. Thank you so much. Happy coding.